to Spain when he was 9. The charges against the suspect concerned spying for the benefit of the Russian Federation's secret services. If convicted, Gonzalez faces a maximum 10-year jail sentence. His Spanish lawyer, Gonzalo Boy, said... So apparently America doesn't give a shit about the First Amendment. Who gives a shit about the right to speak, the right to press, the right to peacefully assemble? The First Amendment, you know, there's like 99, there's like over 100 more freedoms past the First Amendment. Freedom of the press, well, that only means something different. What does it mean? You son of a motherfucking... You son of a monkey bitch. You son of a monkey bitch. So, today in science, May 26, May 27, 28, 29. So I'm going to just sort of rummage through this. You got May 26 births. Sally Ride. She was born in 1951. She tried to be She was on the Challenger. Robert M. Yerkes. He's a psychologist and a principal developer of comparative animal psychology. Well, does a horse think differently than a dog? Robert M. Yerkes could have answered that question. The Great Apes, his classic book, 1929. The Great Apes, Henry Farman. Henry Farman, he's a French aviator, aircraft designer who developed something. He was born 1874, May 26, 1876, that's Yerkes, in 1951. 1951. I mention this because todayinscience.com, todayinsky.com, and then Wikipedia, and then historic days, this onthisday.com. So Wikipedia has a May 27th I'm going to talk about, and then the historical events. So this is my methodology with the holidays. So you got to get all the events and the dates that you could possibly get for May 26. And Wikipedia is great. The historical events page on this day is pretty good. But the Today in Science page, that's why I'm going to be fucking legend, okay? Because this is, I like to cuss and shit, but this is some smart motherfucking shit. This is some smart motherfucking shit. Julius Stieglitz, U.S. chemist who interpret the behavior and structure of organic compounds in the light of valence theory and applied the methods of physical chemistry to organic chemistry. Julius was born. Washington Augustus Roebling was born. James Bell Pettigrew was born. Heinrich Gessler, Richard Christopher Carrington, Abraham de Moivre, French mathematician who was a pioneer in the development of analytical trigonometry and the theory of probability. He published The Doctrine of Chance, 1718. So there you go. There you go. Albert Einstein used to wonder how it comes about that the electron is negative. Negative, positive. These are perfectly symmetric in physics. There's no reason whatever to prefer one to the other. Then why is the electron negative? I thought about this for a long time, and at last all I could think was it won the fight. Albert Einstein. Where does he get his shit? And then the deaths. I don't celebrate the deaths, so I guess I don't understand his list. He just wants to organize it in some fucking way. Everybody has a birth. You don't celebrate the death unless somehow the death was like the glorious triumph, climbing the mountain and got, freedom and justice and the cure for cancer. And then got it. So, I'm sad that they all croaked and whatnot, but then the last thing after the deaths is the events. Fucking Apollo X returns. Cheops solar boat discovered. First pure software patent. In 1981, Satwa Pal Sidjo was the first in the U.S. to receive a patent for computer software. 1969, the Apollo 10 astronauts returned to Earth after a successful 8-day dress rehearsal for the first manned moon landing. That's right, Apollo 11. Apollo 13 is the one that goes off course. Apollo 11 is the one that lands on the moon. So basically, if you're not first, you're last, right? So Apollo 10 might as well just be last. But that's cool that there was 10 missions before 11. So you could study those 10 that should be fucking legendary. The Apollo missions. It's showtime at the Apollo. The mission was the second to orbit the moon, the first to travel to the moon with an entire Apollo spacecraft configuration. Astronauts were Thomas Stafford, Eugene Cernan, descended inside the lunar module to within 14 kilometers of the lunar surface. Recovery ship, Cheops solar boat, discovered in 1954. A funeral craft was discovered that had been built by the pharaoh Cheops, a.k.a. Khufu, 4,600 years before to carry his soul to heaven, a.k.a. Khufu. It was built from sacred sycamore and cedar woods and sealed in a stone slab-covered pit beside his pyramid at Giza, Egypt. Microfilm camera, microfilm, patented by George L. McCarthy, 1931. Model T motor car, 1927. The last Ford Model T motor car ceremoniously rolled off the assembly line. The last Model T car, 1927, May 26. Henry Ford was at his factory in Highland Park, Michigan. 19 years, which 15 million vehicles had been built. Henry Ford and his son Edsel, President of Ford, drove the final iconic black coupe 14 miles. Middle East oil strike 1908, shortly after 4 a.m. The first major Middle East oil strike was made at Masjid Solomon, Persia. A gusher of petroleum rose 50 foot above the top of the drilling rig and smothered the drillers. Drilling at this site began January 1908 under Chief Engineer George B. McClellan Reynolds. 1903, Granville T. Woods, famous black American inventor, received a patent for an electric railway. Woods held numerous patents relating to the electric railway, electrical devices, brakes, and telegraphy for railways. Edison telegraphy patent. 1874, fire extinguisher, he probably stole it from Tesla. 1872, a fire extinguisher was patented by Thomas J. Martin of Dowagiac, Michigan. U.S. number 125063. African American, black. The patent describes installing piping and pumps in dwellings, mills, factories, or cities. The pipes may also be used for warming, ventilating, and washing buildings, and for washing pavements, sprinkling streets. The discharge nozzles are designed to be mounted on vertical pipes and have globe valves seated in them, all enclosed in a cage. The cage is made sufficiently high to allow the rise of the globe valve when pressed up by a jet of water through the nozzle. In use, the water jet would spread by the concave underside of the globe to spray an annular sheet or spray and wet a large surface. Steel manufacturer, 1857, Robert Mouchet, an English metallurgist, received a patent for method of manufacturing steel. Antony van Leeuwenhoek, 1676, animalcules, microscopes. What? We'll have to check that out some other day. I'm getting a little parched in my eyes, getting a little tired. But, May 26th, fucking May 26th, it's going to be a day of science, a day of logic and reason and science. All we got is logic and facts, so fuck if you don't even use your mind and use logic and reason and facts. If anybody ever asks you any question, just always ask them, what's your evidence? What's the evidence of what you're discussing? Do you have evidence of what you're trying to tell me? Do you have any evidence whatsoever? Because we're about to have a jury trial. If you don't know the rules of evidence, well, you better start studying. You magutsa. You goddamn Magutsa. Magutsa motherfucker.